Spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video here on the Water Juice channel, and welcome back to another episode in the Revival series. That is right, we are back with another Revival series episode. We've revived a lot of careers to this point. We've made some people world champions. We've made some people top players of their positions. We've revived a lot of careers. But today could be the most important one. Back in the year of our Lord, 2015, the Chicago Bears, the previous draft, had drafted a man who they thought had a lot of potential. And to be fair, a lot of the people, the scouts, the analysts, the talking heads, they all thought the same thing, that this man had a lot of potential. That man's name is Kevin White. West Virginia Mountain Mama. He is the man of the focus today. He's our target right now. He is the target of the video. We are going to revive the career of Kevin White. Can you even really say revive the career? Because Kevin White didn't even really have a career. He was so bad and so disappointing that I'm pretty sure he was out of the league within, I'm going to say, a conservative number of 3 years. But I don't even know if that is true. He might have been out a lot earlier than that. It was a bad failed experiment. He was a bust of a first-round pick. One of the biggest busts of the 21st century. And we're going to try to change that. So we've got him here in 2015, his rookie season on the Chicago Bears, and we are going to try to make Kevin White a top receiver in the league. If you're going to enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Let me know down below in the comments if you want to see any other players have their careers revived, whether they're busts from really 2007 to now, because I don't really have a mod for anything earlier than that, but I also don't have a mod for anything in between 2007 and 2012, so it's very specific, the years you have to choose from, but there's a lot of people that were busts in those years that we can take advantage of and make them into better players. So today's focus is Kevin White. It shouldn't be that difficult because we're already starting with a good base, so because this roster thinks that Kevin White is going to be a good player, so we can use that to our advantage. So if you guys go and enjoy, hit that like button, and let's go revive the career of Kevin White. It is the year 2015, the 2015-2016 regular season. We are on the Chicago Bears. Bears. And we've got Jay Cutler, Smokin' Jay. We've got Matt Forte. We've got Alshon Jeffrey. But we've got this man right here, Mr. Kevin White. Now, luckily, like I mentioned in the intro, the roster thinks Kevin White's going to be a decent player. At least he has decent potential. So he's 23 years old, he's a rookie, and he's got star development. But we're working with a very good mold. 95 speed, 95 acceleration, 89 catching. His route runnings are already fairly good. They are obviously going to get better as we develop him, but they're already in a decent spot for where we're working with. And being 23 years old is a little bit bad because that gets rid of at least 1 year, maybe even 2 years of development we're not going to have. But he shouldn't have to worry too much because I think we're going to... The rest of the team's kind of bad, though, so we will have to help this team out a little bit. But one thing that we're going to help him out with right away, I'm going to try to trade for a quarterback. I don't usually do this in these type of rebuilds, or at least in any type of rebuild. I don't usually try to trade for anybody. But I am going to try to get rid of Jay Cutler here. And there's a specific quarterback that I want to go for. He plays for the Colts. It is Andrew Luck. Now, I have a 2015 mod loaded. And it says that there is a player model for Andrew Luck, but it's not in So maybe I messed something up, or maybe I'm using the wrong thing. Maybe there's an updated version. I don't know. I thought there was going to be a player model for Andrew Luck. I had read somewhere in the mod description that it said that it was like him and Drew Brees and like Alex Smith and guys like that and stuff. But it doesn't look like, obviously that's not Andrew Luck. But we are going to try to go for him here. It shouldn't be that difficult. He's only 25, 78 overall. And they do it straight up. Cutler for Andrew Luck. Perfect. So now we've got our quarterback for the entire video. He will develop alongside Mr. Kevin White. We are good to go there. And we also should probably... Oops, I need to make sure that Kevin White is the number one. I do want to say that there is only one rule for this type of video, and that is that the player that we are focusing on, the focus of the video, has to be the starter at whatever position he is on, or he plays, on the same team that drafted him. So Kevin White must be wide receiver 1 on the Chicago Bears the entirety of the video. He can't really go anywhere else. He can't fall in the order. He has to be number 1, whether that's hurting our success or not. That's the only rule we have. Everything else is fair game. Everybody else can get moved, traded, signed to extensions, whatever needs to be to help Kevin White have as much success as possible. But having a young quarterback like Andrew Luck throwing in the football should definitely help that right away. And we are going to just go right here and work on the scheme fit, give us the highest percentage possible, which looks like it's vertical power run, and then we will work with, it looks like maybe a 3-4 under. And Chicago's playbook is built towards Justin Fields, which is not Andrew Luck's game. So we are going to have to go to... I don't want to go to Kansas City because that's going to help out a tight end. Is there a playbook that dominates receivers? The Charger playbook is interesting. Obviously, we can fall back on Kansas City if we need to. Miami, that might work because they have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Miami's offense... You know what? I'm going to give Miami's offensive playbook a go for year number 1. We're going to see how Kevin White does because they've got Tyreek Hill, they got Jalen Waddle, they got all these fast receivers, and Kevin White's a fast receiver. So hopefully Andrew Luck can work well in the Tua role and get Kevin White a lot of usage. Now, if worse comes to worse and he's not developing as quick as I would like, we'll obviously like switch to Kansas City or something and he'll skyrocket just like Martellus Bennett would. But yeah, this is the team. I'm not going to make any other trades, I don't think at least, unless there's some other guys that we know end up being good in real life that are kind of under the radar right now, because we're in 2015, so we can kind of make some interesting moves if I want to. Let me go. When does Luke Kuechly get drafted? All right, he's already established. Okay, so he's going to be a little bit more difficult to get. Okay, forget about that one. Let's see. Who else is a young piece? What about defensive linemen? Defensive linemen in 2015 that are young and aren't difficult to go after. Who could that be? There might not be anybody. DeMarcus Lawrence is intriguing. That's actually pretty cool. I might go for DeMarcus Lawrence. Mo Wilkerson's only 25, but he's a 91. I'm liking the more I think about it, I'm liking the DeMarcus Lawrence idea, and he's super easy to get, or at least he should be, because he's only 73 overall, so there's no trade package for him. But if I throw them a player in return, you can have freaking Cornelius Washington. Okay, that doesn't get it done. I'm going to have to give somebody at least a little bit valuable. You can have... who do I want to give up? We have a lot of corners. You can have Alan Ball. We don't need Alan Ball. And then I'm probably going to have to give up a draft pick if I'm being totally honest. I didn't want to give up a draft pick, but if I give up like a 2018 third-round pick, he's a 73 overall. He shouldn't be that difficult to go after. And then a 2017 fourth-round pick. And then a 2018, sixth-round pick. Trade offer accepted. So that's a little bit more valuable than I was hoping for a 73 overall. But we do bring in DeMarcus Lawrence, and that'll be everybody that we go after. We're not going to go after anybody else in the trades. We'll just make sure that Kevin White is the starting wide receiver 1. And hopefully this Miami offensive playbook works pretty well. So I've already loaded in the 2016 draft class, so we are ready to go there. It's got all the usual faces. I don't know what pick we're going to have. And crucially, we're the Chicago Bears. So I just remembered this. So the Bears are going to have 2 first-round picks because of real life. They had 2 first-round picks. So yeah, we've only got 1. Oh no, because the mod's activated because no, they screwed me. Curse you, mod. I thought it wasn't fixed. Okay, so we only have the 1 first-round pick, but still, it'll be good because who knows how good we're going to be. I don't know. Hopefully this Miami playbook actually helps us out. I'm going to simulate to the end of year number 1, and we will find out how good Kevin White does. Remember, we are going to be doing weekly strategy with Kevin White. He should be in here, and he is. We'll just go ahead and do one right now so you know kind of what we're going to be doing. This is the goal for how we get Kevin White even more XP, because this, it doesn't help like too much, the XP boosts every week, but it does give a little bit of artificial XP that he wouldn't have had otherwise. So it'll help him in the long run. And then every season is really big because you get the training camp at the beginning of the year, and that gives you, if you get a gold, that gives you a guaranteed skill point. So Kevin White can skyrocket pretty quickly. He's already a mid-70s star development wide receiver, and he's a 23-year-old rookie. So we're in a good situation with Kevin White right now, where we don't have to, that was a little bit of a risky catch. We don't have to worry too much. He should, given the new quarterback that we have in Andrew Luck, he should develop fairly quickly, I would think. I wouldn't think it's going to take him, oops, I took the outside advantage there. I wouldn't think it's going to take Kevin White too long to become one of the top receivers in the league. I'd probably give it maybe, I don't know, 4 seasons, I'd have to say. 4 seasons is what I would give it for Kevin White to become one of the top receivers. But that's considering we build the team around Kevin White as good as we can. So we get him an extra 750 XP that he wouldn't have had anyway. And then we hope that Kevin White can turn into an absolute stud. That might have already given him an XP boost. I don't know what his XP was at. Oh, no. So it just gives it to Jacquizz Rodgers and Kyle Long. Kyle Long being an X Factor, super cool, too. But yeah, now I'm going to simulate to the end of year number 1, and we're going to hope that Kevin White's development goes pretty good. Year 1 is in the books of Kevin White's NFL career, and it went about as well as you could have thought it would with Kevin White as your number 1 receiver. We went 4-12. Not ideal at all. But we don't care about that in the long run, because all we're trying to do is make sure that Kevin White becomes one of the best receivers in the league. Winning a championship, although it's nice, is not the end-all be-all of this series. Andrew Luck performed not great, but that's to be expected. He doesn't have a lot to do. But Kevin White did do what I wanted him to do, which is lead the team in receiving yards and touchdowns. He just needs to pretty much double this, I guess, to have a really good season. But we'll have to let it ride for right now. It is the 20s. Oh, man, Shea McClellan destroyed the tackles. That's crazy. We'll have to let it ride and see what happens with the rest of this team in the offseason, because obviously we're not playing in the playoffs. So let's just get right to the Super Bowl. We have a ton of money. I did re-sign a couple of people while I was doing the strategy stuff for Kevin White. I re-signed Matt Forte to a new contract. I re-signed a couple other people. I think Alshon Jeffrey was one of them. So nobody too crazy, but I did get a couple of people back on new extensions. And it is the Panthers and the Chiefs in Super Bowl 50, which is kind of wild because this is Panthers-Broncos in real life, I'm pretty sure, the one that Peyton Manning gets for Denver. So good for the Kansas City Chiefs with Alex Smith. Remember, they don't have Patrick Mahomes, they got Alex Smith. And they get the job done. Cam Newton still can't get a title, poor guy. But the Chiefs are world champions even without Mahomes. Eric Berry, good for him. He gets Super Bowl MVP. Smith gets MVP of the league. Le'Veon Bell and Von Miller are the players of the year. Amari Cooper and Shaq Thompson are your rookies of the year. All right, let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to free agency, because as you may have noticed, we have a ton of money to spend, so we can bring in some people that will help out. Hopefully, Andrew Luck throwing the ball to Kevin White. So, negotiations. I think I left one guy here. I can't remember. Did I sign him already? I might have signed him already. Yeah, nobody else here I really want. So, what's his age? 28 years old now. We can move on from that. Ostrich Neck, Jimmy Clausen, we can let go. And everybody else we can let go as well. And we'll bring in some other people. either in free agency or in the draft. So let's see what this free agency has to offer. We have a ton of money to spend. And it's Marshall Yanda. Ooh, I like that a lot. Derek Johnson, Eric Weddle, we don't really need. 25-year-old Stephon Gilmore is a must. That's just, I'm not even going to second guess it. That's just a must to have. We got to get Stephon Gilmore. So we're going to pay him a lot of money to try to compete with the rest of the people offering him contracts. I'm not sure what they're offering him, but I'll offer him $10 million. And I also kind of want to offer Marshall Yanda. We'll give him a 3-year deal, mainly because we have money to spend. If I didn't have over $100 million, I probably wouldn't spend it on Marshall Yanda. Where does that put us? I don't know if I want to go in at... I could be at the top. It's not showing me where I'm at. So I could be at the top competing with the Titans, the Seahawks, and the Raiders, or we could not be at the top. So who knows? I'm going to leave it there because if we don't get him, it's not that big of a deal. But I had the money, so I might as well spend it. We don't need a quarterback. Jonas Gray had one good game against the Colts and fell off the map. Let's see. Wide receivers, we don't really need anybody else except for Kevin White, and we have Alshon Jeffrey still, so we're good there. Ooh, La'el Collins. Ooh, mommy. I like that. I like that a lot. We'll give him a 4-year deal. I can't wait to get to 2018 so we can bring in Quentin Nelson, hopefully. But we'll give La'el Collins that contract. Hopefully that's better than the Falcons deal. Are we finally in there? No, we're not in there. Justin Tuck, Jarvis Jenkins, yada, 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 yada. I don't like any of these people. All these people can go bite the curb. We've got ourselves Justin Coleman, 23 years old. Is not a bad option, but I think we'll keep it with Mr. Gilmore. And it looks like Washington, Chicago, or Washington, Seattle, New England, everybody's in on Gilmore. Hopefully we can bring him in. I don't even know if we'll be able to. That's going to be pretty tricky. I'm going to let it ride with those offers. I don't know if we're going to get Gilmore. We're certainly not going to get Yanda, I don't think. We'll get La'el Collins, I would guess. I'm going to let it ride. All three signed. Did all three sign with us? Did nobody sign with us? We got Gilmore and we got Collins, but no Yanda. That's fine. I wasn't sure we were going to get Yanda anyway. But getting Gilmore and Collins is really, really big. Because Gilmore becomes, I'm pretty sure, our number 1 corner, if not number 2. We got Kyle Fuller, so he's probably number 2. But we put La'el Collins, and he basically is going to start right away with Grossu and Long. So I'm liking that. Kevin White needs to be our number 1 wide receiver. He has gone up to a 77 overall, so we took him from a 74 to a 77. I'll take that in year number 1. And then on the defense, we add in Stephon Gilmore, who is a higher overall than Fuller, so that's cool. We need depth on the defensive line. We just need defensive linemen, really. All right, the defense needs a lot of work. I can see why we were one of the worst teams in the NFL. But I am going to go and sign another D-tackle just so we have a little bit more depth for Eddie Goldman. So let's go to D-tackles, and let's find somebody who's decent and wants to be here. But unfortunately, the guys that want to be here are not good. It's not like we need anybody too crazy. Let's just go Phil Taylor. I was a big Phil Taylor guy when he was in the league, so let's just go for Phil. Offer him a nice little contract. He accepts. Perfect. Okay, so he's the backup for Eddie Goldman. And now, not the Trade Center, we can go and do some deliciousness in the draft. Since we're probably going to have a top, I would assume, 10 pick at the least, we will probably draft another corner because Jalen Ramsey is in this draft class. So, Phil Taylor's actually a higher overall than Goldman. Well, Goldman's going to start, but Jalen Ramsey is in this draft class, and having him, Fuller, and now Gilmore could be a lethal combination of 3 dominant corners. Or we could go Joey Bosa if we have a high enough pick. There's a couple different ways we could go. We just need to work on the defense. We can't really focus on the offense too much because the defense needs a lot more help. So we probably need to focus on the defense. I will spend some staff points to make sure we can scout the guys we need to scout or trade for the guys we need to trade for. Unfortunately, these are all 20 points because I don't have any of this stuff taken down. Although I don't even know if that affects it, does it? Oh, this one does. Let's take this down then. Okay, perfect. That makes it 16 points. That's a lot more manageable than 20. But unfortunately, we're not going to have enough points to finish the entirety of the tree. Still a few more slots to fill. We have Adam Gase as our offensive coordinator. Yikes. No wonder our offense wasn't good. All right, let's get to the draft. Let's get to the draft, figure out where we're drafting, crucially. And then once we figure out where we're drafting, figure out the game plan. Who are we going to take? What spot are we going to be in? Do we need to trade up? Do we need to trade down? What's the goals for the first draft? So mock draft number 5 has us picking at number 5. Okay, that's very manageable because Ramsey and Bosa are right there at 3 and 4. So we don't have to trade up too far to go and get them. Okay. So which one do we've drafted these guys plenty of times before, so we know that they're both going to be good. We obviously know that Ramsey's, I think, the best player in this entire class. But unfortunately, I think defensive end is more of a need than corner now that we have Gilmore. I know that I wanted freaking Jalen Ramsey because he's a studly man from Studleyville. But the corners in this class are decent. You've got Vernon Hargreaves, who we've had before. He dominates. You've got Xavier Howard, who is a very good player. And then you've got Kendall Fuller down here. We already have Kyle Fuller, so we might as well go get Kendall. So it's not the end of the world if we don't end up with Jalen Ramsey. I would obviously like to end up with Jalen Ramsey, but I don't think we're going to. I think we're going to choose, and remember, Deion Jones is in this class, and we know Deion Jones shoves. So this is a good class. This is a very, very good class for a lot of good players that we know can turn into studs. So we need to go trade up one spot with the good old Cleveland Browns and ask them nicely if they will hand over their pick. We'll give them 5. They can have 4. This could go through straight up. And it does. Perfect. Perfecto. All right. So we now have the number 4 pick in the draft, which can get us Joseph Bosa. And we should be Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. Because Bosa will play alongside Goldman and DeMarcus Lawrence. And then we'll draft some linebackers later on. I need to see that mock draft one more time. Mock draft number 5. So we're going to take Bosa. We are going to have to possibly not trade up, it looks like. Because all the linebackers that I want to take are not mocked to, at least specifically Deion Jones is not mocked until the second round, and we should have a high second round pick. So we should be able to come away with big dog Deion Jones as well. That'll help us out because he's a stud. Is this Chris Jones' draft? Chris Jones is in this draft. I know it doesn't look like him, but this is the Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. So we'll look to grab him as well. Okay. We can make this work. We can make this work. It's got to be good. Number 1 pick is the Detroit Lions. They will grab themselves DeForest Buckner. Good luck with that. Niners get Jared Goff, and I didn't mean to click that. The Saints should take Carson Wentz, but they could take Jalen Ramsey too, and they take Jalen Ramsey. And now we're up here. We're going to take ourselves Joseph Bosa from the Ohio State University, and he will start on that right side along with DeMarcus Lawrence. All right. Perfect. And then we have the 5th pick of the second round, so hopefully Deion Jones makes it there. Browns get Zeke. Carson Wentz is headed to Denver. Derrick Henry's going to Washington. Hunter Henry's in New York. Sheldon Rankins, Leonard Floyd, Shaq Lawson, Vernon Hargreaves, Eli Apple, Burnt Toast, Josh Doxson, Carl Joseph, Kenny Clark, William Jackson, Jalen Smith. We're getting a little dangerous here. Laquan Treadwell. We're into the 20s now. Corey Coleman, Agba, Ashawn Robinson, Artie Burns, Keanu Neal. Miles Jack would have been cool. Xavier Howard would have been cool. Tunzel, Ryan Kelly, Ronnie Stanley, and Vernon Butler, and Darren Lee. Okay, so we enter the second round. Do we think Deion Jones goes in the 4 picks separating us from our pick. He's pretty far down here. He's ranked 14th on the big board, but that doesn't mean anything, really. He could go at any point. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to risk it for the biscuit and hope he doesn't go. There goes Will Fuller. Michael Thomas. Deion Jones. And Sterling Shepard. Ah, that sucks. Okay, so without Deion Jones here, where do we go now? What's the next viable option? Deion Jones is such a good player in simulation. He does so well that I don't really know where to go next. I guess we could take like a Jihad Ward or maybe a Noah Spence. Go for kind of like a revival series inside a revival series. Oh, that sucks, bro. We could always stand Joey Bosa up. It's not the end of the world. Poor speed for John Ward. Or we could just take a guy like Reggie Ragland, I guess. He doesn't look great, but he also doesn't look bad. Oh, I really wanted Deion Jones. Why did he was ranked number 14? Why would they reach for him so far? It's between Reggie Ragland and Jihad Ward. If I take Jihad Ward, I'll stand Joey Bosa up. If I take Reggie Ragland, then Bosa will just stay on the defensive line. I kind of want to do... I mean, we also have Yannick Ngakoue. I don't have to take Jihad Ward. But Jihad Ward could be more fun. I've taken Yannick Ngakoue multiple different times when I've done this. I don't think I've ever taken Jihad Ward. I'll take Jihad Ward. We'll risk it for the biscuit. Maybe he can turn into something he never became. And we can do this revival series inside a revival series. All right, third round should be where we take Chris Jones to give us another D-tackle option. Austin Hooper's available. D-tackles, he should be here. There he is. Chris Jones, we'll grab him. And he should develop into a stud player. Then we have ourselves the fourth round, which I don't really have a plan for at this point. So who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Javon Hargrave's still available. Ooh, Devondre Campbell's still available. I'll take Devondre. Because I think he ends up with Superstar Development in future. I've seen him with Superstar Development in some of these things. I know he's a low overall. I think that could be pretty good. We'll just have to make sure that he develops. Elijah Penny was a fullback? That's crazy. All right, now we're into the fifth round. We got Justin Simmons. We got Matt Ioannidis. We got some options here. I see Matthew Judon's head poking out there. What about the corners? Is Fuller still here? I think Fuller's gone. I probably should have taken him in the fourth round instead of that freaking dude that we just took. Yeah. But Jonathan Jones is still available, so that's good. Let's take Justin Simmons. So we have a nice, solid free safety option. And then we'll come back into the fifth round, sixth round, whatever it is. We'll come back in the sixth round and grab ourselves Jonathan Jones to be another solid corner. And then we will be Gucci. Right? Where's Jonathan Jones at? He should be down here still. There he is. Jonathan Jones, we'll grab you. 95 speed, 95 excel is pretty crazy. All right, so we get Jonathan Jones, and then in the seventh round, I probably don't care who we take. It could literally be anybody. I might just simulate this, but Judon's still available. You know what? I'll take Judon. I know he's a super project. He's like I think he's in the 50s in his overall. He could be in the 60s. I can't remember. He's not highly rated at all because he wasn't highly rated coming out of college. It makes sense. We'll have to see if we can figure out a spot for him, but the draft recap... 75 for Bosa, 72 for Ward, 65 for Jones, 71 for Campbell. So he's not as low of an overall as I thought he was. Simmons, 68, Jones, 67, 59 for Judon. Okay, so Big range of overalls there. We could have had Ramsey at 83. That's fine. Big range of players, but remember, we're not trying to win a championship here. We're just trying to build a good enough team to where we win a bunch of games, which means Kevin White is playing good. At least in theory, he'd be playing good, and then he ends up developing into a number one receiver or a top receiver in the league. So we'll go over here. We will generate the best lineup. We'll make sure that Collins is playing. We'll make sure that Grossu is playing. Got to make sure that Kevin White is the number one receiver. There we go. And then we'll go over here to the defense. Bosa will start there. Goldman will start here with Chris Jones behind him. And you know what? Jihad Ward will start right up there. I could move DeMarcus Lawrence. I could stand him up. That could be pretty interesting. Or I could stand up Judon too. Or I could stand up Jihad Ward or DeMarcus Lawrence, one of the two. I'm not really sure which way I want to go with that. So we'll have to just kind of figure it out. Justin Simmons, I want him starting. We'll just give it a ride with this and see if it all works out in the end. So I'm going to go and simulate year number 2 of Kevin White's career. He's a 77 overall now, but I'm going to do the training camp, which gives him if we get gold, which we should, we'll give him an extra skill point. So by the start of season number 2, he'll be a 78 overall, and then hopefully by the end of season 2, he's into the low 80s. That's the goal. We'll see if it happens. I'll see you guys at the end of season number 2. Obviously, if something crazy happens, like he gets a development trade upgrade or something during the season, I'll bring you guys back in. But if not, see you guys at the end of the year. Year 2 is finished in Kevin White's NFL career. We performed a little bit better, I guess. 6 wins instead of 4. That's 2+ wins. Quick math. I can do it. I'll take it. It's not great, but it's something of improvement. At least we're showing improvement, not regressing. Andrew Luck actually performed a little bit better. I'll take that. That's much better than the season he had previously. Matt Forte did all right. Kevin White gets 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns. I don't think that's going to be enough, unfortunately, for him to go up to superstar development, but getting 1,000 yards is a good thing for Kevin White. We need him to be doing that consistently. McClellan did okay. Kyle Fuller did okay. Yada, yada, and more yada. So, we didn't make the playoffs again, obviously. We were the worst team in the NFC North, but that means we're going to have another good draft pick. I don't know what the rest of the league looked like, but it should be a decent draft pick, I would assume. And this is the 2017 draft class, so you got like Myles Garrett and all that kind of good stuff. We should be good to go. It's Patriots and Seahawks. Okay, very interesting. Who's going to get the championship this year? Hopefully the Patriots do. That's what I'm hoping for. And it's going to be, brutal. Brutal. Seahawks beat the Patriots. Disgusting. I hate it. I hate it here. I don't want to be alive right now. That's disgusting. All right, season recap. Michael Bennett gets MVP. Alex Smith, again, MVP of the league, back-to-back. He also wins Offensive Player of the Year. Shaq Thompson goes from Defensive Rookie of the Year last year to Defensive Player of the Year this year, so he must be killing it. Josh Doxson, of all people, gets Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Bengals, and then Jalen Smith on the Giants gets Defensive Rookie of the Year. So, some interesting things going down in Season 2. We need to spend these extra staff points, make sure that the player personnel tree is all bought up. All right, perfect. Then we need to go back here. We need to buy up all of this stuff so we can eventually get down to here and get 3 more practice things open. So now we've done that. So now we can spend those staff points and get that. And then we can train more than just 3 people, including Kevin White. All right, perfect. So let's simulate to the re-sign period. I think I re-signed everybody that I needed to. There wasn't anybody too crazy this year. I think it was Kyle Long, I think, needed a new contract. I can't remember the other guy. There was another guy that was decently expensive. We'll accept the option on Kyle Fuller. Martellus Bennett's 30. I don't think I'm going to bring him back, especially because we only have $42 million. So I think we're going to let Martellus Bennett walk. But I don't have a backup plan at tight end. So hopefully free agency has something for me. If not, we're going to be a little bit screwed. We will find out. Andrew Whitworth. Ooh, Chance Warmack being 25 and star development is intriguing. Now, he doesn't want income tax, which is killing our value or our impact on him. His interest is not very high, but that's okay. Because there's not really anybody else looks like that I want unless there's a tight end. Jason Witten, Vance McDonald, Luke Wilson, Jack Doyle. I'd rather just draft somebody at this point. So let's put all our ducats on Chance Warmack and see if we can bring him to Chicago. If we can, that would be really, really big because we can have him play guard and Kyle Long play guard, and we can kick Lyle Collins out to tackle and be pretty good. So we get Chance Warmack perfect. So let's change Lyle Collins to a tackle. Warmack will come in and play one of the guard positions, whatever one they choose to put him at. And it looks like they put him at right guard. Kyle Long moves to left guard. We will make Lyle Collins a tackle. Should I make him left tackle or right tackle? Let's make him a right tackle. Lyle Collins being a right tackle. Perfect. He's now an 80 overall. So the offensive line's looking real good. We just need to get that left tackle figured out. We need a tight end, absolutely. Matt Forte goes up to star development. I don't know if that's going to be that helpful. So, defense, how are we looking on defense? We need another middle linebacker. We only have really just one in Shea McClellan. Devondre Campbell goes up to star. That's huge. Justin Simmons, the starter here. Okay, the team needs a little bit of work, but we're getting there. Chris Jones, superstar development's really cool. All right. Jihad Ward being star development's awesome. Although he had a development trade, so it's not shocking. Let's get to the draft. 2017 draft. I'm not sure what our draft pick is. Hopefully it's something good because we need to get middle linebacker. We need to get some tight ends. We need to get preferably another receiver. But, I mean, at the end of the day, we're strictly focusing on Kevin White anyway. So, and we might need to switch Miami's playbooks. I don't know if they're going to get the job done in the long run. We are seeing development from Kevin White, but I don't know. I'm not really sure what playbooks are dominant for receivers. I mean, Miami's playbook's doing fine. It's just not getting us wins. It's doing fine with developing Kevin White. We pick at number 6, which they have us taking Christian McCaffrey, which is not that bad, actually, because we do need a running back. Matt Forte's not going to be the guy for much longer. So I actually don't hate the fact that they have us mocked to take Christian McCaffrey. I might not even trade down. I might just stick it at 6 and take Christian McCaffrey because we're going to need a running back at some point. Forte's not going to get the job done for much longer. So I'm fine with that, actually. But we do need to focus pretty heavily on linebacker. So, and tight end, obviously. So let's look at some middle linebackers. You've got a guy like Jayon Brown. You've got a guy like Anthony Walker Jr. You've got... This is not the greatest linebacker class. Maybe we can make some magic happen, but I don't know if we're going to be able to. Mainly because these guys are going to be gone in the first round. We've got a guy like Raekwon McMillan. Maybe he can turn into something. I don't think TJ Watt's going to make it to the second round, especially not pick 6 of the second round. So maybe we go for like a Zach Cunningham type of player, and then we go for a tight end. And it's going to have to be a tight end down here, so it's going to have to be like, oh, George Kittle's here. Perfect. All right, we'll just go for George Kittle in the third round or something. And then that can be our tight end. All right, I'm happy with that. It's just hopefully that's how it actually goes. I don't think that's actually how it's going to go, but I hope that is. If not, we're going to be in a little bit of a tricky situation. So let's start drafting here. Number 1 pick is the Texans. They should take Myles Garrett, and they do. Then you got Mitch Trubisky. Then you've got Jamal Adams, Corey Davis, and Garrett Bowles, and we are up here at number 6 to grab ourselves pretty much the best player in the class. Christian McCaffrey is going to be our new RB1, maybe this season. I don't know I forget how high of an overall he is, but he could be a high overall already than Matt Forte. So, big pickup. We'll go to the second round, pick 6. I doubt that TJ Watt's going to be here. I don't think he is. No, he's gone. I didn't think he'd be here. But Raekwon McMillan is, which is key. And so is Zach Cunningham. Which is the better of the two? Zach Cunningham looks really good. Looks all around pretty good. But how good is Raekwon? Raekwon's not as fast, but also looks very solid in terms of his stats. Ugh. I'm not going to be able to get both of them. Who do I want? Who do I want more? Raekwon's block shedding is an A, which Cunningham's is only a B. I think the tiebreaker is going to be we need middle linebacker more than we need outside linebacker. I know we could move Zach Cunningham to middle, but I'm going to take Raekwon McMillan. We need some middle linebacker, and he looks pretty good in terms of his skills, so hopefully Raekwon will turn into something pretty good. And then we go to the third round. I traded my 4th round pick, so we don't have one. Cooper Kupp is available. Okay. We don't necessarily need Cooper Kupp because we need a tight end more so. We need George Kittle. So we're going to take George. He's going to be our tight end. That's good for the rest of the video. And we'll see what's available in the 5th round. Probably not that much. Okay, a lot of corners. Juju's still available. Chris Godwin's still available. What does the offensive line look like? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Dietrich Wise. Matt Milano I saw. Could be something, I guess. Quincy Wilson I think I've had before. I don't think he develops quite as good as I want him to. I see Desmond King down there. We might go for him in the 6th round. What's the move? What is the move? Do we take another receiver? We have... I don't know if I should because we have, obviously, Kevin White, who the focus of the video is about. We have Alshon Jeffrey, but after that, we don't really have anybody. So maybe we take a Juju or a Chris Godwin and hope that they help the team, I guess. It's either him or we go for Desmond King right away. I'll take Juju. Hopefully he doesn't get in the way of Kevin White's development. We'll simulate to the 6th round now. We'll go look for Desmond King. Hopefully he's still available. He should be if all these other corners are still available. And he is. Okay, perfect. So we'll take Desmond King, get another corner on the board, and then that'll be it for us. I'll let the CPU handle that last pick. Oops. All right. So we end the draft. I think it was good. It worked out pretty much how I wanted it to. We got George Kittle, which we absolutely needed. We got Christian McCaffrey. We got Raekwon McMillan. I could have taken Zach Cunningham. Maybe he would have been better. He probably has a development trait. That probably would have been a little bit better. But I think in the end, Raekwon's going to be a good player. He's 77 overall. Kittle's a 70. Smith-Schuster's a 72. King's a 71. And they took Tanner Vallejo. Best player in the class was Ryan Ramczyk. Then Christian McCaffrey. Yada, 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 whatever. Okay. So 2 years in, we've taken Kevin White from a 74 overall to, I'm pretty sure, an 82. I think is what we've taken him to. So almost 10 overall higher than what he was when we started this. So he's starting to get good. Yeah, he's an 82 overall. He's starting to get there. Make him the #1 player. And McCaffrey does jump Matt Forte right off the bat, so that's perfect. Kittle will start at tight end. We got a good offensive line now, except for that left tackle spot. And then McMillan fills that hole at middle linebacker. Okay, the team is shockingly looking really good now. Not really good, but better than it did before the draft, that's for sure. Okay, so we need to see some big improvements from Jihad Ward. We need to see some big improvements from Joey Bosa, from Devondre Campbell. And then on offense, we need to see some big improvements from mainly Kevin White. We're going to stick in the Miami offense for a 3rd season. See how it does for the overall team. If we start winning games, then that's good. If not, then we're going to have to start considering some things for Season 4. But we need to see probably 85 or 86, I would hope, for Kevin White at the end of the year. That's the goal. If anything happens, like he goes up a development trait, I'll bring you guys back in. But if not, I'll see you guys at the end of year number 3. All right, after 3 seasons, we've finally shown some regression. We go back down to 4 wins. I just don't think the Miami playbook is going to be good enough for us. We're probably going to have to change it. I might just change it now just so I don't forget. It just doesn't seem like it's going to get the job done. It's just not, we're not winning enough games. We're just simply not winning enough games, so we need to change. We're going to go to Kansas City, I think. I know it's my default. We could go to San Francisco, but I don't. Is San Francisco going to be good enough for Kevin White? Because in Kansas City, we also get the benefit of having George Kittle dominate. But in San Francisco, George Kittle's actually in that playbook. Maybe San Francisco. You know what? Maybe we give San Francisco a shot instead of just defaulting straight to Kansas City. And then defensively, we'll go to Buffalo, I guess. Buffalo is pretty good. We didn't make the playoffs again, but hopefully we see some improvement from our big man, Kevin White. It's another solid season from Andrew Luck. Good season from Christian McCaffrey on the ground. 1,100 yards and 5 touchdowns for Kevin White. See, like, the Dolphins playbook is good. It's working for Kevin White. It's just not winning us games and giving us that extra boost to Kevin White's overall and all that kind of stuff that we want to see. So we got to start changing some things here. That's why we'll go to Kansas City. But he did get 1,100 yards and 5 touchdowns, so I'm happy about that. And I think he's an 86 overall now, maybe an 85. I think he's an 86. So we are showing some improvements with Kevin White. We are getting close. At the start of year 4, I will take a look at the whole wide receiver list in the NFL, and we'll see where Kevin White ranks in terms of best wide receivers in the league. And if we're getting close to the top, if not already at the top, then we'll call it a video and say we revived Kevin White. If not, then we'll go another season, see if we can get him into that upper echelon. It's the Cardinals and the Texans. What a random pairing of teams in the Super Bowl. I don't know if I've ever seen that combination of teams in a Super Bowl. Texans and Cardinals. And the Texans get the job done. I'm not sure who their quarterback is at this point. I mean, we're in 2017. We've had 3 seasons. Who's the quarterback of the Texans? It's Patrick Mahomes. Okay, good enough. Alex Smith wins his 3rd straight MVP of the league. So, okay, cool on him. Latavius Murray and Levante David are the players of the year. Zay Jones and Myles Garrett, who also happens to play for the Texans, is the defensive rookie of the year. And Zay Jones offensive rookie of the year. So Texans are kind of loaded. They got Mahomes and Garrett. They had themselves quite the 2017 draft, I'll have to say. Kind of crazy. We'll see how we do, though. We will see how we do. I think Jihad Ward is developing quite nicely. I think Joey Bosa is developing. We just need to hope that our big man right here, Kevin White, develops. So he's an 86 overall right now. He's an 86 overall. He's looking pretty good. His route running is getting up there. None of this stuff's really mattering. This stuff is what we really care about. 86 overall. We're hoping that he gets there. Andrew Luck's a good person to have with him. We need to get a left tackle. And then on defense, we're looking pretty solid. We're starting to slowly develop Chris Jones. Eddie Goldman's still producing a little bit. Jihad Ward's a 78 overall, so that's nice. Raekwon McMillan goes up 2 to a 79. McMillan's a superstar. It's about time he gets a superstar. Corners are looking good. I mean, we're looking good. We're better than what we've been playing. We're better than a 3-win or a 4-win football team. Not sure why we're losing that many games. DeMarcus Lawrence, we made a trade for at the very beginning of the episode. But with $32 million, I don't know if I want to bring him back. He's kind of just a role player at this point. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to waste some money on Ryan Miller just in case I can't figure out a backup plan or a plan right now. He's going to have to be my... Oh, never mind. I was going to say he's going to be my safety blanket. Well, I'm not paying him $18 million, that's for sure. So we're definitely going to have to get a left tackle. And DeMarcus Lawrence, I offered him this contract the last time I talked to him. Let's give him a little bit of a boost, and he's going to come back. Okay, so that leaves us with $21 million. I could just pay Charles Leno, but he's just not that high of an overall, and I don't want to pay him. Do I want to pay him this much money? I guess I could go 2.5 across the board. Okay, he's going to come back. I guess that's fine. It's not an ideal situation, but it'll have to work. We do have probably a top 3 pick, I would assume, and it's the 2018 draft, so it's Quentin Nelson, who I'm very high on. We all know how good Quentin Nelson is. Oops, I didn't mean to skip free agency, but we don't really have that much money anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. We might as well keep that money. If we can grab Quentin Nelson, we can maneuver the offensive line, because I can probably make Kyle Long a center. Like, he doesn't really need to be a guard. At this point, we can move him over to to the freaking big dog position. He can play center. Then Warmack will go over to either he'll stay there or Quentin Nelson can go there. And then we just need to get a tackle to go alongside Lyle Collins, and we should be good to go there. I need to make sure that Kevin White is number 1. So we can make some things happen here. It can certainly be possible to turn this team around. But remember, like I keep saying, it's not the end-all be-all to win a championship. We don't have to rebuild this Bears team into an ultra-dominant team. We just need to make it good enough to where we're winning games and Kevin White is also producing. And in turn, that sometimes leads to winning playoff games and championships. Mock draft, we pick at number 4. Okay, that's actually not too bad. Because Quentin Nelson is at number 9. So that means we could trade down slightly and still be able to pick up Quentin Nelson, I think. We can't let him go to Buffalo, that's for sure. Who are the tackles in this class? You got Colton Miller. Let's finish up Colton Miller. Let's get Braden Smith finished up because we could also make him a tackle. And then I guess we could do Orlando Brown or Brian O'Neill. One of those guys could be a nice tackle. But having a top pick like this is pretty useful. We're not going to go corner, even though Jair Alexander would be pretty fun. I think I'm just going to stick with Brian O'Neill. We'll scout him a little bit more. Okay, so hopefully one of those guys ends up falling to us in the second round. What'd the thing say? Hold on, let me go to prospects. Where are those guys projected to go? 2 and 3. Okay, 2 and 3 for both O'Neill and Orlando Brown, and then left tackle Colton Miller's around 1. Okay, so somehow we're gonna have to make the decision to get one of those guys. Probably O'Neill or Orlando Brown is the most likely option, I would think. But I guess we'll find out when we get into the draft. Start drafting. 2018 draft. Niners have the first pick. They take Bradley Chubb. Baker Mayfield goes 2 to the Rams. Barkley goes 3 to the Cowboys. And now we are up here. So Quentin Nelson's projected number 9. Doesn't mean he's going to go number 9. We could just trade with the Bills. But they could take Quentin Nelson ahead of us. That could be pretty annoying. I think I might just stick at 4 and take Quentin Nelson. Because I don't think any of these offers are going to be much better than what we could get. None of them are higher than the number 9 pick. So we're just going to stick at number 4. I could make my own trade, but that's too much work. I don't really want to do that. So let's just stick at number 4 and take Quentin Nelson. I mean, he's a top 4 player, obviously. So, boom. We'll just turn Kyle Long into a center, and we'll be good to go in the interior. And now we don't pick again until the 4th pick of the second round. This could be where we take, hopefully, either Brian O'Neill or Orlando Brown Jr., and they're both still here, so who do I want more? Probably Brian O'Neill. He looks pretty good. I'm going to take him. Only normal development sucks, but he should be a high enough overall to where it doesn't matter. And I traded away my 3rd round pick in that DeMarcus Lawrence trade all the way back in the first season, so don't have a 3rd round pick. We need... what do we even need? I don't even know. We figured out our offensive line. That's not the issue anymore. We don't really need a receiver. We don't need a tight end. We don't need any more offensive linemen. We don't really need any pass rushers at this point. I guess the only thing we could use is maybe a safety or a linebacker, I guess. Is there a safety that's pretty solid? I mean, you got Ronnie Harrison, Kaiser White, Foyesade. Maybe one of these guys is our option. Jordan Whitehead would be kind of cool too. I don't think we go linebacker here. I just don't think there's anybody that's worth it. So I'm going to take Ronnie Harrison here in the 4th round. And hopefully he's a higher overall than the guy that we already have. So Ronnie Harrison will be my guy. And then we'll go to the 5th round. And if there's nobody available, then I'll just, or nobody that I want, I'll just simulate out of it. Let me go back to the corners and take another look, because there could be somebody down here that I missed. Trey Flowers. I think he has star development. Emmanuel Mosley. I'll grab Trey Flowers, and then we'll simulate out of the draft. Where's he at? There he is. Trey Flowers. Pretty sure he has star, right? Oh, he only has normal. Maybe they changed it. I don't know. But, hey, it's another corner. I'll take it, and we'll simulate out of the draft. And hopefully we're getting to the point where we don't need draft picks anymore because we're done with the episode. Because Kevin White has turned himself into a good player. But we'll find that out when we simulate to the preseason. 83 for Quentin Nelson, 73 for O'Neal. Oh, Danny Etlin, Patriot legend. All right, let's see what we got. Best player in the class is Quentin Nelson. No surprise there. Okay, so year number 4 is about to be underway. Year number 4 is about to be underway. Kevin White sits at an 86, I think. And then with the training camp boost, he should be either an 87 or an 88, depending on if he already is close to a upgrade he could get to. So let's go see what he's got here. We'll generate the best lineup. He should just naturally be number 1, but now that they're tied for 86, he should just go right in, but he doesn't. Okay, so we need to make you a center. You shouldn't take that much of a hit. You're a 95 right now. We turn you into a center. That turns you into a... Hold on, it should just be 99 or 90. Oh, he turns into a 96. Perfect. They move Quentin Nelson over there. Then Warmack goes there. Charles Leno goes to left tackle, I guess. Whatever. We could have Lyle Collins shift over to left tackle and then have Brian O'Neill be the right tackle. That's a possibility, but they're the same overall. It doesn't really matter that much. Okay, so we need to make Kevin White the number 1, and then on defense, it's a defense. That's for sure. It's a good defense. It should be good to go. Okay, so let's go to the NFL rosters. Let's see all of the NFL, all of the receivers. Who is, where does Kevin White sit? So we've got ourselves. Ooh, okay. So a lot of top receivers in the league around this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So Kevin White is the 22nd, tied for 22nd, best receiver in the league. So unfortunately, I think we might have to go a season more, maybe even 2 more seasons, depending on it, if we can turn Kevin White into a good player or not. But we have changed the playbooks. So we are now rocking with, I need to make sure the scheme fits are right. I know I changed them, but see, there we go, 80%. And then 72 probably is the best. Yeah, it looks like 72 is the best, so we'll go with that. We have changed to San Francisco and Buffalo. We'll see if San Francisco works out for Kevin White. I hope it does. It should give us more wins, but we'll see if that in turn helps Kevin White develop. I will see you guys at the end of season number 4, unless something happens with Kevin White's development trait. So it seems like the San Francisco playbook helped us out. 14 wins. That's a huge improvement from the 4, 6, 4 wins we were getting previously. Thankfully, San Francisco has helped us out. And it's helped Andrew Luck. Nothing too crazy, but these are much better splits with the touchdowns and interceptions. McCaffrey had a good year, as you would expect. The running back is Christian McCaffrey in the Niners playbook. No 1,000-yard season, though, for Kevin White. I think he did go up to an 89 overall, I'm pretty sure, throughout the season. So he still got some good usage, but no 1,000-yard season like Miami had. And Buffalo's playbook has dropped McClellan's tackle number down, which is kind of interesting, actually. But we did make the playoffs, so I guess team success is good. Can we get a win here? First time in the playoffs, year number 4. We do win. Okay. So we get more strategy opportunities with Kevin White, who is now, in fact, an 89 overall, which is nice to see. Maybe we can even get him to a 90 before the season is over, depending on if we go deep into the playoffs. Who knows? It looks like he doesn't get an upgrade point there, but Quentin Nelson does. Quentin Nelson already an 88 overall. He's looking pretty studly. Can we beat the Giants? They're only 9-8. We should be able to win? Question mark? Of course we don't. Of course we don't, because whenever there's an underdog team, Madden loves to make you lose to them. That is for sure. So another year in the dirt, but depending on where Kevin White ends up, in the wide receiver rankings, we might consider this a completed episode. Obviously, it's technically already been completed when we gave Kevin White a 1,000-yard season. We already revived his career to a successful point because there's no way Kevin White was ever touching 1,000 yards in real life. So we've kind of already completed it technically. And Matt Stafford gets a championship for the Lions. Good for him. Russell Wilson gets the MVP of the league. Le'Veon Bell and Levante David go back-to-back each for Offensive Defense Player of the Year. Josh Allen now the quarterback for the Colts because we have Andrew Luck. He wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Bradley Chubb wins Defensive Rookie of the Year, former first overall pick last year. So good for him. All right, but there is one thing that I want to talk to you guys about. I looked at the negotiations, people that were on expiring contracts, and our boy Kevin White was one of them. Unfortunately, we don't have that much money. As you can see, $27.9 million in available budget. And we've got to accept the option on Joey Bosa. We've got to pay Kevin White because he wants $78.7 million. He deserves it because we always pay our focus player. We always pay them a massive extension. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to restructure some of the contracts we paid over the rest of the series or the rest of the episode. So Andrew Luck, he gets restructured. Kyle Long gets restructured. Chance Warmack gets restructured. Gilmore, Bosa, even though we just accepted his option, we get to restructure Anthony Jefferson, not Alshon. Restructure DeMarcus Lawrence. And that should be it. Maybe McCaffrey too. Okay, so those will be all the contracts that we restructure. That should be enough to pay Kevin White a fair fee. $72 million. That'll take us, so he'll get a 6-year contract extension. We'll pay him a massive extension, much more than he's worth, because it's the whole point. We're locking him up. We're giving him the money that he should get. So $15 million across the board. He's going to come back. Massive extension for him. And I will just extend some other guys while I'm here, so that in case we do decide to go another season, we'll have these guys still on the team. We probably need to get Grassu back. Grassu back, whatever his name is. Whatever the F your name is, big dog. You're coming back. Should we get Eddie Goldman back? Probably. But we have our guy, Chris Jones. I'm doing all this not even knowing if we're going to go another season. We might, but I don't know. Okay, that's everybody that I want to bring back. Okay, so now that we've given Kevin White his massive contract extension, we need to go to the preseason and see if he is where he deserves to be. Or I guess we could just do it now. I mean, we don't have to wait till the preseason. I just was hoping that, we have the boost, which makes him a 91 overall. Out of 91, that puts him, let me just do the counting so I know exactly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So with the morale boost, he's the 18th, and he's probably still somewhere around 17, 18, even without it. So if we can get him to be a top 15 receiver in the league, then I'll be happy with that. So probably one more season will do it. One more season will get Kevin White into top receiver territory, top 15 receiver in the league, which is much better than where he was obviously before. So we'll go one more year, and then that'll be the end of Kevin White's revival. Who knows if we can win a championship? Maybe. Maybe we can win a championship with it. Probably not, though. If we can't even beat a 9-win Giants team, we probably won't be able to do too much. So let's get to the draft real quick. It's the 2019 draft, so it's like Kyler Murray, Nick Bosa, all those guys. I don't even know what pick we have. We probably have a bad pick because we were in the playoffs. So start drafting. We have pick 26. Number 1 pick in the draft is Quinnen Williams. Then Nick Bosa. Then Devin White. Did the Rams just have back-to-back picks? Then Kyler Murray to the Browns. Did the Rams just have number 2 and 3? I could have sworn I saw the Rams pick Bosa and whatever his name was. Whatever. I don't know. All right, so at 26, where do we even go? What do we need? We probably need... We don't necessarily need offensive line, except for a left tackle. And Dillard is a fine option, but he's not the best option. There's not really a whole lot here. We could go Darnell Savage, I guess. Or maybe we go Jonathan Abram. Man, I have no idea where we should go here. Obviously, we could take like an A.J. Brown or a Terry McLaurin, but we're not really looking for a wide receiver. So let's just take Andre Dillard, I guess. I've never drafted him before, so maybe he turns out to be something that is a higher overall than Charles Leno. I don't know, maybe. We're not looking to get guys that are too good anymore. We kind of already have our team assembled, so it's not like we need to get anybody too crazy. Let's take... is Chauncey Gardner-Johnson going to be there in the third round? Probably not, because we have pick 26, so let's take him now. Let's take Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. All right, and then we'll go to the third round. That might be the last pick that I make. I don't think I'll make another pick unless I see somebody that I want later on. I see Dre Greenlaw. I always get Dre Greenlaw. He's never super high overall. It's not really even worth it, I don't think. Unless, I mean, I see Max Crosby here too. It's never worth it to take him. We've had that experiment before. Let's just take Dre Greenlaw. I don't really see anybody else that I want, so that's probably going to be it for the draft. We'll let the CPU handle the rest of it. And we'll go to year number 5 of Kevin White's NFL career and hope that he can enter the top 15 of wide receivers. And if he does, then we're in a good situation. We are in a good situation. All right, draft recap. 68 for Dillard, yikes. 71, okay, this wasn't that great of a draft class, for us at least, but that's okay. That is all right. Those players will end up being decent, I guess. Year 5, we're good. We're not great, but we're good. We're a playoff team, I know that. Just how far in the playoffs did we go? I don't know. All right, generated the best lineup. They took Tony Pollard, okay, cool. Kevin White, number 1 receiver. Offensive line's looking amazing. Kittle's doing good. Luck's doing good. Defensively, we're all right. We're nothing too special, but we're all right. Joey Bosa's never really turned in anything. Maybe we should have went Jalen Ramsey. Maybe we should have ran Jalen Ramsey. And we start at an 89 overall, but remember, we're going to do the training camp, so that'll get him an automatic skill point. So he'll start the season at a 90 unless he already is close to an upgrade. Let me take a look at his XP. Is he close to an upgrade? No, he's not even very close. So he'll be a 90 at the start of season 5. Then we'll simulate the year. He should grow maybe 1, maybe 2 more. And I think that will get him up to top 15 wide receiver in the league. At least that's the goal. So I'll see you guys at the end of the year. And maybe we get a development trade upgrade. Maybe we don't. If we don't, then I'll see you guys at the end of the year. If we do, I'll bring you guys back in. But hopefully we can grow Kevin White into a top 15 receiver in the league. Year 5 is in the books. We finally won the division. 12 wins. I love to see that. Finally, we had a year where we were the top team in the NFC North, which is kind of crazy because the Lions and Packers have both been pretty darn good. Andrew Luck, he's putting up some good numbers. He has certainly put up some good numbers. Christian McCaffrey's putting up good numbers. Wow, Kevin White wasn't the top receiver this year. Oh, I don't like that. I think he's still developed. I think he's a 92 overall now, like I was wanting him to be. But he didn't lead the team in receiving yards. That's not good, Juju. That's bad, Juju. What are we doing here? Okay. But it got us some team success, so I guess we can put Kevin White's success on the back burner for now until we get some team success. Can we beat the Packers? Only by 1, but we can beat them. And Kevin White is a 92 overall. I think he's a top 15 receiver in the league. Ooh, I think he's a top receiver. I hope so, at least. But now we play Washington, who's a good team. They're 13 wins. I mean, we lost to a 9-win Giants team last year. I would be shocked if we won against Washington here. What's going to happen? Are we going to lose again? No, we actually win. How could we lose to a 9-win team last year, but we're the same team than we were last year? And yet we lose to a 9-win Giants team last year. This time we win against a 13-win Washington team. That's kind of crazy. I don't understand the simulation mechanics. But now we play the Seahawks, who have played in a Super Bowl in this this video. They've played in the Super Bowl and won it. They beat the Patriots. So now I'm angry because the Seahawks beat the Patriots. So now I got to beat them. Come on, Kevin White. Play in a Super Bowl. That would be so awesome for you. And we get blown out by the Seahawks. We got destroyed by Seattle. Destroyed. Okay. So we're not going to play in a Super Bowl with Kevin White, but that's okay because we have technically revived his career. We've done a very good job. Bengals and Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Who's going to get it done? And it will be the Bengals winning a championship. Okay, Cincy, I see you out here. Big dogs? Skyline Chili? Season recap. Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle. He wins himself the MVP of the Super Bowl. Rodgers finally dethrones Alex Smith for MVP of the league. Jeremy Maclin and Cam Jordan are the players of the year. Danny Dimes for the Titans wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Ed Oliver wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. You know we're in an alternate universe when Danny Dimes is winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. Let's just be fair. Okay, so the moment of truth. We go over here. Kevin White's the third best player on our team. We go over here to the NFL. We go over here to wide receivers, and we look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Kevin White has entered the ranks of top 15 receivers in the NFL. We have officially completed the revival. Kevin White has revived. We have revived Kevin White's career. He is a top 15 wide receiver in the league. I mean, look at these numbers. These are top 15. These are top 10 numbers. These are amazing. I can't believe it. Unfortunately, we never got him higher than star, but I'm not really sure what we had to do. Maybe we could have went to a different playbook earlier. Maybe Miami just wasn't getting the job done in terms of the development trait. I don't know. Wide receiver is difficult to do. It's tricky because you got to obviously have a good quarterback to throw him the football, but you also got to have like a good offensive line. You got to have a good playbook. It's weird. It's a lot more difficult than to do like a tight end or a quarterback because Kansas City playbook will get both of those guys pretty good. So we have revived Kevin White's career. We have made him a top 15 wide receiver in the NFL. So much monumental more than what he was in real life. And I'm pretty happy with that. I hope you guys are too. If you enjoyed the episode, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Like I said before, if you want to leave your suggestions for players you want to possibly see get their careers revived before Madden 25 comes out in a couple of months, leave them down below in the comments, and I will take them on. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.